Okay, hello fourth year students. Today we are going to talk about the types of concord, and these types include the concord of the subjects with other elements of the sentence other than the verb. Okay, so the first type of concord that we are going to deal with in this video is the subject complement concord. The subject complement concord is mainly happening in number. So it is not a concord of person, but it is a concord of number. It exists between the subject and the subject complement in pattern number 2, which starts as the subject followed by the verb, the intensive verb, and the intensive verb, which is either the verb to be or the linking verb, is followed by a subject complement. So here we have to pay attention to a very important point, which is that the subject complement may appear in a form of an adjective or in a form of a noun. If it is an adjective, we don't have a problem of this problem of concordant number with the subject, because the adjectives have the same form whether the subject is singular or plural. The problem happens when the subject complement appears in the form of a noun or a noun phrase. Here, as we know, that nouns or noun phrases can be singular and plural. And in this case, we have to make this noun or noun phrase that functions as a subject complement agree in number or have concord in number with the subject. For example, we say, the child is an angel and the children are angels. So you see, in the first sentence, the subject is singular. That's why the subject complement, which is an angel, and it is a noun phrase, is singular also. In the second sentence, we make the subject plural. We said their children. So also the subject complements have to become plural as well. So this is the rule that we have to follow in making a concord in number between the subject and the subject complement, if the subject complement appears in the form of a noun or a noun phrase. However, there are exceptions to this rule, and we can find these exceptions in the following two sentences. Number one, they turned a traitor, but we say they became traitors. So in the first sentence, they turned the traitor. There's, as you see, there's no concord, there's no agreement in number between the subject and the subject complement. They as a subject is a plural pronoun, while traitor as a subject complement is singular. Of course, this has a reason. Okay, the reason is that the structure that consists of the verb turn followed by the noun traitor is considered an idiomatic structure in English. And we know that idioms have a fixed form. They do not change their form to be singular or plural according to the subject. Okay, so turn traitor is an idiom in English which has the meaning of to become disloyal. But when we change the verb turn by another verb such as become, here the noun phrase, sorry, the noun traitor that functions as subject complement here becomes a normal noun. And when it becomes a normal noun and functions as a subject complement, it has to agree with the subject in number. So we have here with when we change the verb turn into become, we have now to apply the rule that we talked about, that the subject and the subject complement must agree in number. The second exception is found in the following sentence. What we need most is books, and what we need most are books. So the two sentences here are correct. Okay, and the first in these two sentences, the subject takes the form of a nominal relative clause, and we have studied before that nominal relative clauses can be singular or plural, not in form but according to their meaning. So here we are depending on notional concord. And notional concord, if you remember, depends on the meaning of the subject. The meaning of the subject is going to tell us whether the subject is singular or plural. So the first sentence, when we say what we need most is books, here the meaning of this nominal relative clause, what we need most, is singular. The WH word what can be replaced by the singular noun phrase, which is the thing. So we are talking here about one thing. We are talking, for example, about the idea that is found in the books, the value that we can get from the book, the benefit that we can get from the books. Okay, but in the second sentence, when we say what we need most are books, here we are talking about, or the meaning of the nominal relative clause is a plural. We are talking about the books themselves. This may be the sizes of the books, the types of the books, the different fields that the books can be about. Okay. Uh, the second type of concord that also can happen with the subject and other elements in the sentence is the concord that happens between the subject and the object. So the subject has to agree with its object in three important features: in number, person, and gender. Only if the subject occurs in the form of a reflexive pronoun or the genitive pronoun his own. So if your subject appears in any other form, there should be, or there's not necessarily a concord in number or in person or in gender between the subject and the object. But if your subject occurs in a form of a reflexive pronoun or a genitive pronoun his own, here there should be an agreement in number, person, and gender between the subject and the object. For example, we say John hurt himself. So himself here is a reflexive pronoun that takes the position of the object. And we know that since himself is referring back to John, so himself and John, they have to agree in these three important features. In number, both of them are singular. In person, both of them are third person. And in gender, both of them refer to masculine. The same thing when we say Anne hurt herself or I hurt myself. Okay? Even when you change the function of the reflexive pronoun from an object to an object of a preposition when it appears in the prepositional phrases. Here, the reflexive pronoun has also to agree with the subject in these three features: number, person, and gender. For example, she is making a sweater for herself. So for herself here, this is a prepositional phrase, and herself here appears as an object for the preposition. But still, here there is, as you see, agreement in number between the subject she and herself. Both of them are singular. In person, she and herself, both of them are third person. And in gender, she and herself, both of them refer to feminine. The same thing when we have the object has a form or has the possessive pronoun his own. So we also have to change this pronoun his into something that is suitable, a pronoun that suits the subject in number, person, and gender. So we say, for example, they are destroying their own houses. So their own houses, their own, we have changed the form of the pronoun from his into their, because we know that their is suitable to they, the subject. Both of them are plural, both of them are third person, and both of them, they are neutral. Another problem that we may face with the subject-object concord is when your subject has the form of a collective noun. So, as you remember, we explained previously that the treatment of collective nouns is different from American English to British English. Okay, so when you find a collective noun coming in a form of or a position of a subject, you have to choose a suitable reflexive pronoun that refers back to the subject according to which type of English you are speaking or you are using the sentence in. For example, they say here in British English, collective nouns are considered a plural because, as if you remember, we said that they depend on notional meaning, and in according to meaning, they deal with collective nouns as a plural. That's why when you use a reflexive pronoun that refers back to collective nouns in British English, you have to make sure that these reflexive pronouns have to be plural. So, for example, we say the Navy congratulated themselves on the victory. So, the Navy here is the collective noun, and we use in the subject or in the position of the object reflexive pronoun that is a plural, themselves, to refer back to the collective, to the subject that has the form of a collective noun. This is, of course, in British English, because in British English they consider collective nouns plural. The last type of concord is called what? Pronoun agreement or pronoun concord. It is defined as the correspondence or agreement of the pronoun with its antecedent in number, person, and gender. So what does it mean antecedent? It means the the noun that comes before it. So if the pronoun that we are using in the middle of the sentence has a relationship or refers back to the noun that comes before it, you have to make sure that this pronoun must agree with the noun that comes before it in number, person, and gender. For example, we say John hurt his foot. So we know that John has hurt his own foot, not the foot of someone else. So the pronoun that we use, the possessive pronouns that we use in the middle of the sentence, refers back to John, the subject, and here as you see, they agree in number, both of them are singular, in person, both of them are third person, and in gender, both of them are masculine. When we change the sentence into a feminine, also we have to change what? The pronoun. We said Anne hurt her foot. Also, when we change the sentence and to talk about a plural, we have also to change the pronouns in the middle. So we say they hurt their feet. Okay? However, the pronoun may not agree with the noun that precedes it when each of the noun and the pronoun refer to two different things or people. Okay, so when you are sure here that the pronoun that you are using in the middle of the sentence does not refer back to the subject, the pronoun is talking about something else or someone else, here also your sentence is going to be correct because you are referring to two different things or two different people. So we say, for example, John hurt her foot. Her here does not refer to John. Her refers to someone else. So we can say if we have this meaning in our mind, our sentence becomes or is grammatically correct. But if we are talking about the same person, if we want to refer by this possessive pronouns, if we want to refer by this possessive pronoun to the subject himself, here we should not use her, but his. So the use of the pronouns in the middle of the sentence depends on this condition, whether you want it to refer back to the subject or not. Within the pronoun concord, we have the problem of the indefinite pronouns. And by the indefinite pronouns, as we said previously, we are talking about the pronouns that do not have a specific reference. Before we talked about when they do not have specific reference in relation to number, and here we are talking about the pronouns that do not have a specific reference because they do not refer to a specific gender. Okay, for example, someone, somebody, nobody, everyone, everybody, and extra. When these pronouns are used as subject, there is the problem of using the suitable pronoun that agrees with them and gender, because English has no gender neutral third person singular pronouns. So how can we solve this problem? They say that in the informal English, they prefer to use the plural pronouns to refer back to these indefinite pronouns if they appear as subjects, because plural pronouns they regard the plural pronouns as a neutral. They can refer to both genders. For example, we say everyone thinks they have the answer. This is informal English. So here in the middle of the pronoun we have used the plural pronoun they. And we know that they is a plural pronoun and does not agree with everyone in number. Yet they in the informal English they use this plural pronoun they because they regard it as a neutral. It refers to both genders. But in the formal English, they say that this solution is unacceptable and they prefer to use the masculine pronouns he and or his to refer to both genders. So the same sentence may have a different form in the formal English. In the formal English, it becomes everyone thinks he has the answer. So you see here, the pronoun he is used here to refer back to everyone, although we know that everyone may refer to both genders. So he also here is in this sentence or in this context is not a masculine pronoun, but it is a pronoun that can refer to both of the two genders, the masculine and the feminine. Um, However, this solution might not be acceptable by all the people, okay, especially the females. That's why grammarians have come up with another solution, which is what using both of the masculine and the feminine pronouns together. So the new form of the sentence will become like this: everyone thinks he or she knows the answer. Okay, so here you see here in this sentence we have used both forms of the pronoun. He, the masculine pronoun, to refer to the males, and she, the feminine pronoun, to refer to the females. Although some grammarians believe that such a solution might be found as cumbersome, a long one, lengthy, and not acceptable by all the people, okay, not desirable by all the people. The same problem may face us when we are talking about when we are having a coordinated subject with either or. For example, we say either he or his wife has changed their mind. This is informal English. You see, there they use the pronoun there to refer back to both of he and his wife because we know that he and his wife, these two elements in the subject make for us the subject are different in gender. So, as a neutral pronoun that can be used to refer to both of them, in the informal English they use or they prefer to use the plural pronoun there. But in the formal English, they have two forms. Either we say it with the masculine pronoun or with the two pronouns. So they say the sentence in the following way: either he or his wife has changed his mind, or either he or his wife has changed his or her mind. So with